Hello, hi everyone. Hello, hola, hola. Hi everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. How's it going? I hope everything is great. Hola, hola a todos. Bienvenidos a un nuevo en vivo. ¿Cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien. Today we are going to talk about 5 different meanings of the verb dejar. Obviously, we will have to use more than dejar. So we're gonna use dejar by itself, and sometimes when you add more words to the verb, the meaning changes. So that's what we're gonna do today. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. I want to give a big shout out to our Cafecito members: Teresa Pocket, Robert Green, Tom Siebold, Ralph Marquez, Brianna L., Ruby Brockenberry, Christopher Michael, William Lopez, Gregory Ramirez, Michael Lee, and David Beaver. Thank you guys for the support. El cafecito está delicioso. If you like what I do, you can also become a member, just like them. The only thing you gotta do is you have to click on the join button down below to read more about the membership, the perks, the fee. But I gotta tell you, the fee is very cheap. Essentially, you pay less than $3 a month and you will be supporting this channel. You'll get a Spanish word of the day from Monday to Friday on the community tab, and I'll give you a shout out as well. So if you want, if you can, please check that out. Thank you again, Cafecito members. Thank you for the support. Okay, let's get started. Let's do this. Let's do it. Dejar. Oh, by the way, so if you have any questions, because I'm live streaming, you can use the live chat for that. Of course, you can say hola. You can ask questions about what we're learning. The only thing you gotta do, if you want to use the live chat, you have to be a subscriber. So that's for free. Just click on the subscribe button and you can start using the live chat. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Okay, so dejar. By the way, Teresa Pocket, I believe that's her name. Teresa, yes. She suggested this just to talk about the verb dejar. Thank you, Teresa. It's a great idea. Thank you for suggesting that. Dejar means to leave. You know, if you leave your keys on the table, then you would have to use this verb if you want to say that in Spanish. Dejar, to leave. Obviously, it just like we always talk about in this channel, dejar, or verbs have more than one meaning in Spanish, and sometimes you have to add prepositions. You have to add other different words. Sometimes it's more like a phrase, but it's very interesting how we can use different verbs in different ways. So that's what we're gonna do today. Dejar means to leave. That's the main meaning of this verb, but it has more. Today we're gonna talk about just 5 of them. Excellent. So let's talk about dejar by itself. Just about this verb first. Dejar means to leave, as I said before. So we're gonna look at some examples to see how this verb works. And let's look at an example. Deja el tazón en la mesa. Deja, that's a command. Deja el tazón en la mesa. This means leave the bowl on the table. Okay? Deja el tazón en la mesa. Leave the bowl on the table. So this is a very important command if you are going to say to someone, leave X thing, whatever thing on the table, in a box, outside, inside of a place. So this is a very, very, very good verb to use if you want to say to leave. And the command deja, leave something, in this case on the table, a bowl. So it's a very, very common verb to use. Let's break this down and let's see how this sentence works. Deja, as I said before, that's a command. Leave, okay? Deja, by the way, this command is for just a singular person, not a group of people. So if you're talking to one person, you can say this to the person, deja. It changes if you are commanding or saying this command to a group of people, then it will be dejen. Okay? So just keep that in mind, that even though this is a command, it can change, you have to still conjugate the verb dejar. So dejen means, you're saying leave, you guys, a group of people, the bowl on the table, el tazón en la mesa, okay? But in this situation, we're saying this to one individual. Deja, leave, el tazón, the bowl. This is very funny because a lot of Spanish speakers refer to tazón as bowl. El bowl. They say that. Some Spanish speakers. I like to say tazón because that's the Spanish word for bowl. But yeah, just keep that in mind. That sometimes that happens. People can say deja el bowl en la mesa. So just so you know. En, on, and has different meanings. It can mean in, it can mean on, okay? So it's a very versatile word for sure. Sometimes it means at as well. En la casa, at the table. At the house, at the table, at the house. So yeah, en can mean in, on, at. So that's quite interesting for sure. In this situation, we're talking about la mesa. That's why we know that en means on. Okay, so it's all about context. La mesa, the table. Okay, remember, mesa is feminine. Therefore, you need the definite article, feminine definite article, la mesa. Deja el tazón en la mesa. By the way, the Z sound in Spanish is very similar to the S sound in English, okay? So you wouldn't say el tazón, right? No. You just pronounce it as if it was the letter S, okay? El tazón. So that's an important thing to remember. If you say tazón, with the Z sound, it's going to be fine. But if you want to master Spanish, then you got to know that trick, that information. So yeah, the letter Z and the letter S in Spanish, same sound. And the sound is S, okay? The S sound in English. Okay, now the next example, guys. The next example is no me dejaste nada de pastel. No me dejaste nada de pastel. I'm angry because this happened. I mean, if this would have happened to me, I would have been pretty mad. But I'm not too crazy about pastel. Do you know what pastel means? You didn't leave me any cake. Pastel means cake. Cake. Pastel. El pastel. Okay? No. This is a negative sentence. We're using no. And it's similar to saying didn't. Okay? Me dejaste. Okay? So we have a noun here. Te, which means you. Okay? Dejas is the verb. Dejar. Dejaste. Okay? Dejaste. You didn't. And we have me, which is another pronoun. And it means me. Okay? No me dejaste. It means you didn't leave me. Okay? Dejas. That's the verb leave. No me dejaste. You didn't leave me. Nada. Nada. In this situation means any. Okay? De pastel. Cake. And something important to remember here is this little sentence, this little phrase here, nada de. Nada de, and then you add a noun, in the situation pastel, that means any cake. So there's no cake, okay? Nada de pastel. You can say no hay nada de pastel. Pastel, sorry. There's no cake or there isn't any cake. That's what it means. So remember that when you use the word no and nada de in the same sentence, it's it means there isn't any cake, there's no cake, so similar to that. Okay, in this situation obviously we're talking about pastel. So this is very important to remember, that kind of structure. For example, let me give you another example, just removing this. No hay, as I said before, no hay nada de pastel. That means there's no cake. There's no cake or there isn't any cake. Okay, so similar to that. You can change this to anything else. Pizza. No hay nada de pizza. There is no pizza. There isn't any pizza. Okay. You can change this noun to dinero. Okay. No hay nada de dinero. There's no money. We don't have money. Okay. So this is a very important structure. Remember, no and nada de, and then a noun. Okay, this can change. You saw that before. You can use dejar. No me dejaste nada de pizza. Right? Dinero means money, by the way. No me dejaste nada de pizza. You didn't leave me any pizza. No me dejaste nada de pastel. You didn't leave me any cake. Okay, so that's an important structure for sure. That's why I wanted to explain nada de, and then no, and nada de all together in a sentence means there isn't any something. Okay, very interesting, very, very interesting. Anyway, no me dejaste nada de pastel means you didn't leave me any cake. That's bad. Dejar means to leave. Don't forget that, guys. It also means something else. It has a different meaning. When we have dejar de. Okay, dejar de. This is the meaning number 2. Dejar de. Dejar de. Dejar de means to stop or to give up. To give up a habit or activity. So this is very interesting because now dejar doesn't mean to leave, which is the basic meaning of dejar. It means in some situations when you have dejar de, it means to stop or to give up, okay? To stop doing something or to give up a habit, okay? Like smoking, anything else or activity, you stopped doing something. Then if you want to say that in Spanish, you can use dejar de. Dejar de. Let's look at an example just to show you how it works. Deja de saltar. Deja de saltar. We see a command again, a command that you're saying to someone to, in this situation, to stop doing something. Deja de saltar. This means, this means stop jumping. Okay, so this is quite interesting. Deja, we have the verb plus de. Deja de, stop. And then you can add a verb. In this situation, usually when you have deja de, you need the verb, but in an infinitive form. So that means you do not conjugate the verb. Sorry about that. You don't conjugate the verb saltar, comer, brincar, trabajar, correr. I think I said correr already. You can say deja de comer, stop eating. Deja de saltar, stop jumping. Deja de correr, stop running. Deja de hablar, stop talking. Okay? In English, it's different. You say stop jumping, stop eating, stop doing something, and you have the gerund form, jumping, so you add the ing and to the verb. In this situation, in Spanish, you don't do that when using deja de, okay, or dejar de. Saltar, that's the correct form if you want to add a verb there. Saltar. Remember the infinitive form. You need that. Really quickly, I'll change this to a different verb. Deja de caminar. Okay? Stop walking. That's what it means. Stop walking. Okay? Deja de trabajar. Stop working. Okay, so that's how it works when you say dejar de and then you want to add a verb. Remember, you need an infinitive form, not the gerund form. Okay, now let's look at the next example. Dejé de fumar hace 2 meses. Dejé de fumar hace 2 meses. This means I gave up smoking 2 months ago. Okay? Dejé de fumar hace 2 meses. So in this situation, dejar de means to give up. Okay? In this situation, it is past tense, pretty tense. It's like saying yo dejé. You don't need yo all the time. I always say that. So when you say dejé, it means I gave up. Okay? Here, dejar de means to stop doing something. And here, dejar de means to give up something. Fumar means, you see the the infinitive form of the verb fumar, I mean, to smoke. Fumar. Same here. Trabajar. Okay? So that's very important. Fumar in this situation means smoking. Hace, similar to saying ago. Dos, 2, meses, months. Okay? When you use hace when talking about time, you are saying ago. Okay? So this could change to different times. Hace dos, you can say hace un año, a year ago. Okay? Hace una semana, a week ago. Okay? Or you can change this to dos semanas. Hace dos semanas. And it means 2 weeks ago. Okay? So hace, remember, hace plus time means time ago. Okay? Whatever time you want to say. But remember, dejar de means to stop doing something in general or to give up a habit or activity. That's quite interesting. This is a very useful little phrase right here. It's very useful for sure. Okay, now meaning number 3, guys. Meaning number 3. Significado número 3. Let's see what we have here. Oops. Do you guys have any questions, by the way? Let me know. Just let me know. Excellent. The next meaning of dejar is, well, dejar caer. You can use dejar with other words, of course, and the meaning changes. Dejar caer. So we have 2 different verbs, which is very interesting. Okay? Caer means to fall. It also means to hang, to drop. Okay? In some situations, that's the meaning. Those are the meanings of caer. Caer. Sorry, caer. To fall, to drop, to hang. In, for example, if you see, if we're talking about curtains, or waterfalls and whatnot, but we can talk about caer in a different lesson. When talking about, or when using dejar caer, those 2 verbs, it means to drop. Okay, you could use just caer by itself, but a lot of people in Spanish use dejar caer, the combination of the 2 verbs. Dejar caer means to drop. So imagine that you're holding something and you're letting something fall. That's pretty much what we're talking about, okay? It could be because you're not paying attention, or because you are doing it on purpose, or you're careless. We're talking about those kinds of situations. Let's look at an example. Miguel dejó caer su celular. Okay. Miguel dejó caer su celular y la pantalla se dañó. Miguel dejó caer su celular y la pantalla se dañó. Well, that's not good. That is that's not good at all. That happens. This looks like an accident happened. This means Miguel dropped his cell phone and the screen got damaged. Okay. He let it fall. Oh, man. Miguel, obviously Miguel is a name. We know that. I always use the name Miguel in my examples. I don't know if you've noticed. Okay. Dejó, past tense. We have the verb dejar, okay? And we have the verb caer. So when using this phrase, you don't have to conjugate this verb, the second one. You only conjugate the first one. Miguel dejó caer su celular, okay? By the way, hang on. Dejó caer in this situation means dropped, okay? Su means his, also her. I mean, this is very flexible. Celular means cell phone. It's a one way to call a cell phone in Spanish. You know, you can call it cel. Sometimes people call it cel. Okay, mi cel. ¿Dónde está mi cel? Where is my cell phone? Okay, or ¿dónde está mi celular? Where's my cell phone? Same thing, celular. The long term, the whole term is teléfono celular. Okay, teléfono celular. I'm just gonna put it here. Yeah. Here. Teléfono celular. Hang on, just let me do this really quickly. Teléfono celular. That is the term, the whole term when referring to a cell phone. But I mean, some people say it, the whole term in Spanish. Some people don't. Some people just say celular. Some people say just cel, okay? So, or teléfono. Okay, because, I mean, that can also refer to a cell phone. ¿Dónde está mi teléfono? Where's my phone? Okay? Excellent. Now, let's continue. And la pantalla. La pantalla means the screen. Okay. Se dañó. We're referring to the screen, but it's a common thing to say la pantalla se. Okay. Because if you say la pantalla dañó, that makes no sense. You need se. Okay, se dañó, got damaged. We're using se. I know se can be confusing, but it means themselves, itself, you know, himself, herself, each other sometimes. So se, we should talk about se, just se, in, you know, a future lesson for sure. But when talking about a noun, and that something happened to it, se is a very common thing to use in Spanish. So just keep that in mind. La pantalla se dañó means the screen got damaged. Very interesting. Dañó comes from the verb dañar, which means to damage. Dañar, okay? To damage. This is past tense and it means damaged. Excellent. Now let's look a different example. Yeah, let's look at a different example. Okay. I just wanna, yeah, never mind. Sorry. Let's look at another example. It's interesting. Dejó caer, dropped. Okay. Now the next example is ten cuidado, no dejes caer la sopa. Ten cuidado, no dejes caer la sopa. This means be careful. Don't drop the soup. Okay, don't drop the soup because it's hot. It's hot. Be careful. Okay, let's break this down. Ten cuidado. Ten cuidado. That's a great phrase that means be careful. Ten cuidado. Be careful. You can use this by itself just to say be careful. You know, it doesn't matter if we're talking about hot soup or anything. If you're in a dangerous situation or someone can be in a dangerous situation, you can say ten cuidado. Ten cuidado. Be careful. No dejes caer. Okay, so we have the negative word no and dejar caer, conjugated, of course. No dejes, it's like a command. No dejes, okay? Caer, no dejes caer. Don't drop. La sopa, the soup. No dejes caer la sopa. Don't drop the soup. Okay, la sopa, soup, the soup. Excellent. Excelente. Now, that was meaning number 3. Dejar caer, to drop. Excellent. Meaning number 4. Meaning number 4. Dejar que. So this is a different meaning. Previously we learned about dejar de, right? Now we're learning dejar que. Dejar que means to let. Okay, just to let someone do something for you, or you want to do something for someone. Let me help you. Let me tell you. Let me, anything. You know, it could be applied to different situations for sure. So let's look at the first example. Deja que te ayude. Deja que te ayude. This means let me help you. Let me help you. So this is a very common thing to say in Spanish. And here, also, you can hear this very commonly in Spanish. Deja que. We have the first part here. Deja que. Let me, well, it's more like let. Te ayude. te ayude. Me help you. Let me help you. Deja que te ayude. So in this situation, the structure is different. The English structure and the Spanish structure is quite different. So we have deja que, it's like saying tú deja que, so you let me, or it let dot dot dot, te, it's another pronoun, which means again you, ayude, help. Okay, so it's a tricky phrase, tricky sentence, because it's so different from the English one. So that's pretty can be difficult for sure. But when you say deja que te ayude, it means let me help you. Okay, tú deja que yo te ayude. So that's pretty much what you're saying, because we don't have the pronouns. It's kind of hard to see what's happening, but it's just, I mean, even though it's not said in Spanish, it's like saying tú, okay, you, let me, deja que yo te ayude. Just one sec. Okay, so tú deja que, you let, yo te ayude, me help you. I know it's kind of weird, but that's the way this phrase works. I mean, you can even add here a ti. Tú deja que yo te ayude a ti. Okay, so those are the hidden things that you don't see in Spanish, and that's why it might be a bit confusing. But essentially, tú deja que, so you let, yo, similar to me, te ayude a ti, help you. But you don't need all these things, the extra things in Spanish. So that's why sometimes it's confusing. I know it can be confusing, but that's what the sentence means. You can see deja que means let. Okay, let. Let's look at the other example, guys. The next example is, déjame que te cuente lo que pasó. Déjame que te cuente lo que pasó. This means, let me tell you what happened. Okay? Déjame. We have the verb dejar plus the pronoun me, okay? So that's like saying let me, déjame, let me. We have que, which is part of this. Te cuente, tell you. Te, similar to you in this situation. Cuente comes from the verb contar, which means to tell, like to tell a story, to tell gossip, you know, all that kind of, I mean, we're referring to that when using contar, okay? Also, it means to count. Lo, we have this, which means it, okay? Lo means it, him, you in some situations, but we need that here for sure. Lo, because we're talking about something happened, right? When saying lo que pasó together, that means what happened. Okay, so that's something that you can keep in mind. Lo que pasó, what happened. So that's how this sentence works. Remember, dejar que means to let. Deja que te ayude. Let me help you. Or déjame, you can also say déjame. And that will be more similar to let me. Déjame que te ayude. Let me help you. But you can also say deja. And that's also good. It works. This is a more advanced phrase, but it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Any questions? We are gonna learn the last meaning of dejar. The last meaning of dejar is dejar plantado. Dejar plantado. And this one is it's not a fun one. It's quite the opposite, but I just find it funny, this phrase. Plantado. Because when talking about plantado, it sounds like a plant. You know, you're talking about a plant. Plantado. But when you have dejar plantado, that means, do you know the meaning? Do you know the meaning of this? We're not talking about plants. We're not talking about plants. We're talking about, oh, there's more. Alguien. Yeah, dejar plantado a alguien. Okay, so alguien means someone. Alguien, someone. When you use dejar plantado a, so you're doing something to someone, not nice. It's not nice, but it means to stand up somebody. When if you have a date and your date didn't show up, then you can use this phrase for sure. You can use the verb dejar for sure, or the whole phrase dejar plantado. Okay? Dejar plantado a alguien. I mean, this changes. Alguien can change. You can change it with a name to a different name. You can change it to, or you can just use dejar plantado, just the top part. Sometimes you don't need this part here. You can just say this. In you know, I'll show you how to put it in a sentence. But sometimes you will have to use this if you want to give more information, of course. So yeah, the meaning is to stand up somebody. Now let's look at the first example. Dejé plantado a Miguel. No me acordé que hoy teníamos una cita. No me acordé que hoy teníamos una cita. And I apologize, and it's an accent mark over there. Acordé, period tense. Usually when conjugating verbs in period tense, you will have to use an accent mark. Especially when talking about, you know, that you forgot something. I forgot something in this situation. By the way, acordar means to remember, not to forget. But you'll see. Let me show you the meaning of this sentence. The meaning of this sentence is, I stood Miguel up. I didn't remember we had a date today. Or an appointment. Cita can mean appointment or date. Okay, depends on the situation. Context. Dejé means I stood up. Okay. Oh, by the way, you need this too. Dejé plantado, I stood up. When you add a, just like there, a, then you have to add alguien, somebody. So in this case, we're referring to Miguel. Dejé plantado a Miguel. Yo dejé plantado a Miguel. I stood Miguel up. No me acordé. I didn't remember. Que is used a lot to add more to the sentence. Okay? No, if you say no me acordé by itself, that means I didn't remember. That's it. But if you want to add more to the sentence, then you need que. No me acordé que. Okay? Hoy means today. Teníamos. We had. Nosotros teníamos. We don't need nosotros. We need teníamos. We had a cita. Cita. Date. Cita can mean date, can mean appointment. Okay? So when going to the doctor to see your doctor, you need a cita. Okay? Cita. So it can be something like that, like a doctor's appointment, or it could be a date when you're dating someone. Okay? Interesting. That's very, very interesting. Lastly, the last example, that's the last example of, today. Me dejaron plantada. Just like that. Something simple. Me dejaron plantada. So this can change. Plantado can change to plantada as well. In plural as well. Plantados, plantadas. That it depends what you want to say, of course. If this is like the feminine form of plantado, plantada, when saying me dejaron plantada, that means he or she stood me up. So whoever, someone stood you up. So me dejaron plantada. He or she stood me up. Okay? You can also say me dejó. Me dejó plantada. He or she stood me up. So dejaron is more like a general term to refer to any he, she, they, but you're just saying that you got stood up. But when saying me dejó, for example, you can say Miguel me dejó plantada. Okay, Miguel me dejó plantada, and that means Miguel stood me up. Okay, so you need me dejó plantada, plantado. Okay, you cannot say Miguel dejó plantada. It sounds incomplete. You need me if you were the one who got stood up, right? Me dejó plantada. Or you can say te dejó. Miguel te dejó. And you're referring to you. You got stood up. Okay? So Miguel stood you up. Okay? So this can change, of course, but when talking about yourself, you can say that. Okay? Me. That's what it means. And that's it. That's it. Remember, dejar plantado a alguien. You can see here in the first example, we have the verb, the rest of the phrase, and we needed a, because we wanted to mention Miguel. Okay, in this situation we didn't need alguien because we're talking about ourselves. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, when I was saying at the beginning, it can be flexible. You can use the first part, dejar plantado, or the whole thing, dejar plantado a alguien. So yeah, you have options. Definitely, you have options. Do you have any questions? Any questions? It's crazy. Like, dejar plantado a alguien, we're using dejar, means, to stand up somebody. Dejar que means to let, you want to do something for someone. Please let me do something. You can use dejar que. Dejar caer is when you let something drop, or it's just to drop. Okay. Dejar de means to stop or to give up a habit or activity. And in general, dejar means to leave. That's the main meaning of dejar. Okay. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that I live stream every week, so if you don't want to miss this out, you can click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button, and then you need to activate all the notifications so YouTube lets you know every time I live stream. Also, remember that I have a Spanish community on Discord. You can join for free. The link is in the video description down below. Yeah, if you like this stream, please give it a like. That helps me a lot. And I see I get asked that a lot. Greeny King, welcome, by the way, and thank you for your question. Do you have a specific time? I cannot see the rest of the comment. Day you do the live stream. I wish I could tell you that, but I usually stream whenever I'm available because I've been pretty busy lately. So I used to stream every Tuesday. So every Tuesday around 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern time. But lately I've been pretty busy, and I always say, or right now I'm saying, that I live stream every week. So if you don't want to miss out my streams, just activate all the notifications. If you click on the bell icon, you can activate all the notifications there, and YouTube will let you know 30 minutes before I live stream. And then whenever I start live streaming, I'm trying to stream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm trying, but sometimes I can't do that on Tuesday. For example, right now, I'm streaming on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I wish I could tell you a specific time or day, but yeah, I get it. It can be complicated for you guys too, because you need time. You need to know when it happens, so you can actually tune in and just make time for this. I appreciate it, by the way, everyone who's here. Thank you so much for tuning in, definitely. And yeah, thank you for asking, Greeny King. Thank you for asking. But yeah, whenever I get a chance, or if I'm not too busy, I'll let you know, or I'll try to just have something specific time and day. But for now, at the moment, I can't. I'm sorry. I'll let you know if that changes, though. I'll let you know for sure. Okay, no problem. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care. I said that twice already. Muchas gracias por ver este en vivo. Nos vemos a la próxima. I'll see you next time. Cuídense. Again, take care. Bye. Adiós.